Hey guys, this is John McLaughlin with JA Memories. Welcome to another Tech Talk with John McLaughlin. Today we're not live. We are just pre-taping a show. We're continuing our talk from last week about hard drives and capacities and talking about RAID systems. One thing that I wanted to talk about real quick on today's video is the benefits and the importance of using backups. We talked briefly last week about cloud storage. We talked about AWS. We talked about Dropbox. We talked about Blackmagic Designs, cloud storage, both on-prem and in the cloud. But one of the things that a lot of companies and a lot of people who use large capacities don't even consider is the fact that they have to figure out a way to back up all of that data. One of the things that we as content creators never want to have to deal with is the loss of all of that data that we have spent hours creating, editing, and then curtailing and making popular for all the things. The last thing we want to do is be forced to go to YouTube, download our videos, and that's the only copy of the video we have. Because oftentimes that video is not even to the highest capacity of what we've done. We've often recorded a higher bit rate, uploaded to YouTube for them to shrink it down and compress it. So we're not getting the best quality that way. So obviously when you have a large volume, what is the best way to back up your data? Obviously, like we talked about, AWS offers cloud backup both for their S3, S3 Glacier, and S3 Deep Glacier. So at each tier, you're determining the cost based on the availability. S3 oftentimes is available instantaneous. It's used for data that you're going to access on a daily basis. Glacier is designed to be accessed every once in a while. Not really, it's archive type of things, but yet you can still retrieve it pretty quickly. Deep Glacier is designed for the stuff that you don't ever touch. It's there as a disaster recovery option. And that is a great option for those who want a storage capacity but don't want to have something on premise. If you want an on-premise backup, there are plenty of hard drives out there now with large capacity that you can use as a backup. The one thing to keep in mind about a large capacity hard drive on premise is if your whole entire facility goes down and everything's destroyed, that includes your backup. So if all you have is a backup of your storage that you have on the same premise, on your same premises, I guess is the word that I'm looking for, and the whole your whole facility is destroyed, that includes your backup. Now, an on-prem backup will also help you if, say, you get stuck with a ransomware, and it only affects your primary drive and your NAS system. That backup will allow you to recover all your data without going through the ransomware whole issue. Or if you have a NAS system, network attached storage, attached to your drives, and you have a backup that's not online, and someone formats your NAS, you have a backup of that storage that was formatted. You can then restore that back up. So backups are crucial, whether you do it on premise or if you do it up in the cloud. Oftentimes, companies will do both. an on-prem and a cloud storage. The cloud storage is just for those times when everything else fails. It's a disaster recovery option, and it's deep storage, never touched until the last possible moment, the last resort backup for that storage. And then the on-premise storage is for those times when people delete wrong files, or they have a ransomware or a virus corrupts their data. Those are the times an on-premise backup will be your best solution, when that backup is still good. And that's something to keep in mind. Always consider the backups and what your solutions are, and make sure that you have them in place before you need them. The last thing you want to do is know that you need a backup, consider that you need a backup, and then you need it and it's not in place. Consider taking the not necessary steps in getting the software in place. There are plenty, if you're in a Windows system, there are plenty of backup softwares that will back up your data. If you're looking for a complete system backup, obviously you're going to be costing a little bit more, but you're going to be able to rebuild your entire system by backing up your entire system. Macs have a built-in system, backup system. It's called Time Machine. If you're on Mac, make sure that you're using Time Machine to an external hard drive. And what I would consider doing is making sure that you have 2 copies of that backup that you continually rotate, so that if something happens to one, you have a secondary backup. Yes, it does cost money. Yes, it is an extra cost. But is that cost worth the freedom of knowledge and the security of knowing that if something happens to your primary, you're backed up? And that's the whole point of a backup. It's almost like insurance. It's actually just like insurance. You're paying for something with the hopes you never have to use it, but if you do, it's sitting there. So take that tip, take that into consideration, and we'll find you next week on another Tech Talk right here on YouTube. God bless you all, and we'll see you next week.